What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nick, and today we have another unboxing video for you. But today's unboxing video is going to be a little bit unorthodox and a little bit step in a different direction than my normal unboxing videos. Normally I unbox collector's editions of video games or other video game paraphernalia, but today we're going to be taking a look at something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is Gundam models. And specifically, we're going to be looking at the metal build Strike Freedom Gundams. So the Gundam model kits have been around for basically forever now. And normally you buy a kit, the Gundam comes in about 1,000 pieces, you snap them together, and eventually you have something that looks like a Gundam. And if you're really into the hobby, what you would do is you would go crazy in the detail. You would putty the joints, sand them down, repaint each individual part, and all that kind of stuff. I attempted it when I was a bit younger and I completely butchered it. And it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of skill, and it takes a lot of patience. And those are traits that I do not have. So what Bandai Namco did is they recognized there's a market for people who just want to buy these kits pre-made. And have figures that have a high degree of detail and articulation, and hence the metal build collection was born. And it's exactly what you said. It sounds like the frame of the Gundam is actually, or the joints are made out of metal, and what characterizes these kits is their high detail, articulation, and just in general very good fan service and resemblance to the source material. So this is the Strike Freedom Gundam model. This is from the Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny universe, and Strike Freedom was, by the end of it, the most powerful Gundam in the entire series. So this is the kit, and today we're gonna unbox it, and I'm gonna give you guys my impressions of what I think about it. And with all the Gundam people out there, we're gonna have a very nerdy time discussing everything all at once. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so we're gonna nerd out here and talk a lot of in-depth Gundam. So it's been an hour since I kind of unboxed everything. So I spent about 20 minutes kind of just disassembling everything, taking it out of the box, and then deciding what weapons I wanted to use on the Gundam kit. And the actual display that I chose on changed about 3 times during the entire process. I originally wanted to do this cool double beam saber look, and then I wanted to do the beam saber look where both are combined together, and then I wanted to do a look where there was where 2 guns were attached together. I'll show you guys the still images of what I was trying to recreate at the time, but it was really difficult to do. So then eventually I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do the most basic one that I possibly can so you guys can see everything kind of full bore, and then we'll try to a little bit later on my own time when I'm not kind of behind the camera recording to kind of articulate it and make it a little bit more realistic looking. So here are the parts that I didn't end up using. So in total there are 12 hands. So the hand that you decide to use, it depends on what weapon you decide to use or not use in some cases. So if you want to use the beam guns or the guns, then use the proper hands. If you want to use the beam sabers, use the proper hands. Or if you don't want any weapons, there are these cool ones that have his palms are right open. So 12 hands in total, 2 are on the Gundam, and then there are 2 beam shields. So the shields emit through his wrist or his forearms on the Gundam's gauntlets. If you guys remember, there was a cool scene in the anime where it was Shin versus Strike Freedom for the first time. Then Shin tried to go for his patented sword kill, and then Kira caught both of them by activating both gauntlets and completely destroyed him, which is awesome because Shin's a little bitch. And then as well, so those are the shields, and then there are the beam swords, the energy parts of the swords, and the handles of the swords are on the hip of the Gundam right here. And as well, we'll talk about the base. There's also another attachment. So moving into, or how the Gundam attaches to the base, are these two translucent pieces. There's a straight piece, which I have right now, and then there's this angled piece. So if you kind of want to give the Gundam a little bit of an off-centered look, such as with the beam sabers, where he's holding both at the same time, you use this angled one. I personally decided to use the straight one, so that's just that, but you do have options, so we'll put this away for now. So what I'm gonna do is, I've done this a couple times now, and I kind of keep getting off track. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the bottom, and then we're gonna move all the way up, and I'll talk about every single piece in detail. So starting at the base has the Strike Freedom name, and then piloted by Kira Yamato. Says the code name of the Gundam, XGMF X2OA. So you'll see this little C kind of ring right here with these little protrusions. So what they're used for is if for some reason you wanted to detach the Dragoon system. Okay, so let's just nerd out for a second. So for people unfamiliar with the Dragoon system, so the Dragoon system in Gundam Seed was unique to 3 Gundams. There was Providence, Legend, and the last one to get it was Strike Freedom. And they're probably the most overpowered system in the entire series. So what happened is that these parts, they could only be used in space because they required no gravity for them to work. So what these did is they detached, and each single tip was able to shoot 1 laser beam, and somehow the pilot was able to control every single one. So if for some reason you don't want to use the Dragoon system, you can place them on here, but personally I think it gives a really cool effect. And just on a side note, you can actually buy a separate kit, which is about $100 extra, to kind of give the Strike Freedom the similar kind of look. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it because it's kind of, I don't know, I personally like the clean look of the wings by themselves, and I think it looks kind of tacky to give them the full burst effect. But I'll post a picture on the video and you guys can decide on yourself. So yeah, anyways, so we'll stay on the base. So not only does the base does a really good job of supporting the Gundam, there are a bunch of points that you can kind of use to help articulate and position the Gundam as well. In total, there are 3 points. So there is one right here at the very top that if you push in this little lever here, allows you to tilt the Gundam up and down. I don't know why you would ever put a Gundam like this, but whatever. And if you wanted to put him there, you just have to snap it in and then he'll stay right there. And then I personally like it all the way down. So that's the first articulation point. There is one on the back here. If you flip it down, and that allows you to either raise or lower the Gundam as much as you want. I try to go I personally like to go about like there because kind of gives them that free floating look, but not too high. And then there's one at the very front as well. It's kind of difficult to reach. That allows you to tilt him up and down like this. So not only does the base does a good job of supporting the Gundam, it gives you some options to help you kind of position him and decide how you want to lay him out in terms of making him look awesome and sweet. So we'll start at the back. As you can probably tell, this is the main signature of the Gundam. It's its wings. So each wings can articulate up and down, and then as well they can fold backwards if you want, like this. Each joint is a little bit stiff, but it's fine. Just don't force it, or you'll end up breaking something, and then you'll be very, very sad. So yeah, I tried to make it so it tilts forward like that, move it forward and kind of spread out the wings. And yeah, just so many articulation points on this thing. And what's cool is it's kind of ironic that there are so many articulation points that actually kind of makes it difficult to kind of position the way you want it, because if you move one section, it kind of moves the other section, and you're really kind of just fighting everything back and forth to make sure that you don't throw what you just did a second ago off. But in order to give the Gundam that really solid lifelike, or I guess it's not really lifelike, but to make it look more alive, you have to spend, I would probably say, at least an hour kind of just articulating all the pieces and moving things. Yeah. Anyway, so we've done the base, we've done the backpack. Let's move on to the legs, as you can expect. Let's turn them sideways so you guys can see. Hopefully I don't create a really bad squeak sound. So there are flaps in the back for the vents, as you would expect. Those articulate as well. Moving on to the middle torso. So if you do not plan to use the guns, if let's just say you decide to use the beam sabers, which are housed on the hip, these guns at the side, actually, they fall backwards, which exposes, if I can get this without something snapping off, if you tilt those backwards, it exposes another holder for these guns, so you can attach them there if you want to use the double beam saber look. But personally, I like it like that. The guns in the front extend as well. Let's see if I can get this. Extend as well, just as you would see in the anime. If they fold nicely back and fall back down there. Moving on to the front torso. The front torso is basically like Strike Freedom was the culmination of every good mobile suit in the Gundam Seed universe. So it had the dragoon system, it had the shield system, it had the center cannon system, it was nuclear powered. It was just basically a mix match of all the good Gundams that were in that entire universe, and it was just awesome. And for a while there, it was, I would say, for a couple of years, Strike Freedom was probably well regarded as the most powerful Gundam in the entire universe, up until I would say probably when the 00 Riser came out, which was just completely retarded in the amount of firepower it housed. But anyways, it was just sweet. Another thing that kind of reminded me of a Gundam from another universe is the cannon system, the beam cannon system. They actually, both guns can join together, and it kind of reminded me of the Wing Zero system, which is probably the most powerful beam gun in the entire series. I don't think with these two joined together, it was nearly as powerful as the double buster rifle, and it joins back and forth, whereas the Zero rifle can join sideways, but still pretty awesome. And yeah, overall, it's definitely one of my favorite Gundams, I'd say. The only thing that I didn't 100% like about the Strike Freedom that has kind of grown on me over time is that the gold accents at each of the joints. When that first came out, I wasn't 100% sold on it, but it's kind of grown on me ever since. I would have personally, I think, preferred like a silver myself, but just because it's a little bit too much bling for my taste. But overall, I like it, and I definitely dig this kit a lot, and just brings back a lot of good memories as I talk about every single piece about my fond memories of the series. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for my unboxing of the Metal Build Strike Freedom Gundam. I know it's a little bit different than what I normally do on the channel. I usually do video game unboxings, but from the moment I ordered this thing and the entire time it was across the ocean being shipped here to the point where it got to the post office, I was just giddy with excitement to get this open, and I felt like I wanted to share with you guys just because I'm a huge Gundam fan, and I think a couple of you guys are as well in the subscribers. There's got to be a couple anyways, people who are Gundam fans as well. And yeah, that'd be something that'd be cool and fun, and that I wanted to share with you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think of the kit, and if there are any kits that you think that I should check out. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, have a fantastic day.